Yeah, what's up, kings and queens? We're back again, and as usual, we're going to the Meyiwa case to see what sense can we make out of it. Now, the court resumed today, albeit with SABC playing us dumb. We could barely hear what Sibiya was saying, and the interpreter as well. Now, the judge was in discussion with the lawyers, trying to find out if the accommodation could be paid by the illegal aid board and whatever. But before we do all of that, please like and subscribe, hit that notification bell so that when we drop more content like this, you are in the loop. We're also going to touch on the senior Sibiya since the younger Sibiya was on the stage today testifying about what happened when he was being arrested, and then up until to Munisi took him to where he was taken to a certain policing and in fact taken to that area that the inspection local was undertaken at. He was then kicked around and all that, choked with the plastic. And then we're also going to touch on Sibiya, the senior Sibiya, inadvertently admitting that AVLs could be manipulated. I got a little clip for you so that you can really hear what he's saying. Now, before we do all of that, please don't forget to like, subscribe, also comment so that we can interact. Now, it's been a long time since we covered anything, but it's a lot that's been going on. The Majanga Commission commenced with Mr. Inspector General Mkonasi laying down his testimony. The lady from the police, who's in charge of their legal department, also testifying, and then we went to the commissioner, the national commissioner, General Shaban, also testifying there. Like bombs were dropped, and we found out that there's a lot of politicians, newspaper people who are implicated. Who can guess? Who could have guessed that even newspapers? But we could see in the Meyiwa case that there's a problem with the reporting of this case, like in a objective manner, without any partiality. Right now, there is something that I don't understand when it comes to our case, like the Meyiwa case, right? Always when there's something that has to happen, like I'm gonna make an example about what was happening today about the accommodation of the witnesses, right? The defense witnesses. It's amazing that they were all kind of scratching their heads, and one thing came to my mind. One question came to my mind, like, are they all saying that this is something new to them, or are they telling me that they never came across a situation like this where a witness has to come and testify from the defense side and he's being paid by legal aid? What happens then? Have they never come across that? Like, have they never ever come across a situation like that? Even the judge himself, I was just surprised that they were asking around what does the legal aid board say and all that. Even though the judge eventually gave an order that the legal aid board has to make amends to accommodate those guys' expenses when they are being accommodated. Well, now we found out that during the testimony of Sibiya, right? Thank you for those who are in the life, like we're checking it out. We found out that during the testimony of Sibiya that most of the officers that he mentioned, it was the first time I was hearing about them, and we could just even the Munisi asked that question, we could surmise that these people never came to come and testify. So you would ask yourself, why did the state not bring the initial people who did the arrest that Sibiya was talking about? And we could see also Gininda distorted a whole lot of information, right? And then even the people who were with Gininda, those guys, the traffic cops who were plain clothes and who were wearing traffic uniform and the plain clothes cops, you ask yourself one question. So are you telling me that they are just following orders to just kick that guy, or they feel like they found the right guy? So it has to go down on the guy. That guy has to be tortured. Like what goes through their mind? Like, are they saying, I'm just doing my job? I don't know what this guy is being accused of. They told me just half of the story, but I'm just gonna kick this guy until he tells me the whole information. Because judging from what Ginina was saying about that first meeting with Sibiya, you could tell that he was just fishing. And the fishing is confirmed by the arrest of Zamuku Hlombat, right? When they started, they arrested that guy, and a sensible judge decided, no, I'm not gonna let this guy sit in jail for most of his life just because somebody is lazy to investigate. That's right. Now we know up to so far, even Baloi today, what he was trying to do was just try to you know control or direct Advocate Munisi, telling him that all the questions were leading, right? Most of the of these objections, I understand it could be leading somehow and all that, but what bugs me is that Sibanda, Baloi, Kininda, and all the senior officers, the first national commissioner, Begitel included, they decided now we're going to take this case, this fabrication case, we're going to take it forward and then just waste state money and just try to argue it in court. Unless they knew they had somebody in their backyard who could run something that was mentioned by Mkonas, that there are some brigadiers in Josie who are doing all kinds of things. Maybe they knew they had a judge who could roll with them, and finally convict these guys on baseless information. Now, I'm not going to dwell too much on what Sibiya had said. We know that he was laying down the sequence of events during his arrest and how he got tortured by these guys and how Gininda never told him his rights and all that. How Mohol and Mohane, they never told him his rights. They just commenced to try to, deal with him in whatever way they wanted to deal with him. Now, I'm going to jump to the Majanga Commission. The Majanga Commission has been going down, and a whole lot of things has been going down. I just want to sum up my view about it. What I'm feeling about the Majanga Commission is that nothing much is going to happen after all of this. I think this is just to pipe down General Mkonazi, because you can tell when he's giving his evidence. This guy is honest. This guy is about his work. This guy is not to be shaken by stupid questions from parliamentarians. Some of the parliamentarians who were giving stupid questions, and some who were like giving proper questions, but he could not be shaken by those stupid questions. Now, they realized that very soon, that this guy can be bought. Now, what they try to do is just appease him. Let's just appease him. Let's form a commission. Commissions, usually, nobody gets arrested. There's a whole lot of information that came out from the commission that some journalists, Bram Mokhosi and Ket Matale, whoever, there's people who were sharing secrets, state secrets, classified information, if I put it that way. Those guys were in possession of classified material. That is an offense. But up so far, what we've seen as some action is when Sibiya's house was raided, I think a day or two ago. and then he came on to the conference, a press conference, talking about his gadgets were confiscated. Fine. Something is happening along that area of Sibiya, being action taken against him. But trust me, one overzealous politician is going to rise to the seat of the commissioner, in fact, the police minister, and then guess what? As soon as this pipes down, they want to arrest, re-employ him, and then we'll get his position just like it happened the last time. He was, he was suspended, and then after some time he got back. And then during the suspension, that's when he got involved in the Meyiwa case. He was also on the crime scene, although he was on suspension. We all know that from the court proceedings. Now, let's go to what he said today at the AVL Commission at the Majanga. I think it's the Majanga Commission. Yeah. No, it's the Parliament. He was in Parliament today. Yeah. Let me not mislead you. I got a little clip for you. This little clip will show you that he is admitting that the records could be manipulated. The AVL records, they could be manipulated if you want to, because he's telling us that he doesn't trust the other officers who are investigating him, right? And then we found out that his reasons, the reasons that he's voicing, is that if they want to place you at the crime scene, the scene of the crime, they could do so. So he doesn't trust if that team, that guy who's a forensic analyst, who was analyzing the phone records, if he's from the political task team, he doesn't trust that he will get fair game. Now, what does this confirm to us? It confirms to us that truly indeed he knows that the AVL records could be manipulated. They could place you wherever they want to. Just like we saw as Stein and Hose were trying to manipulate the public into thinking that somehow the accused, this accused on this trial, they had some phone contact with Kelly Kumar. When we all know that it was pointed out that there was some kind of shenanigans going down there. Let's check out now Sibiya's own view on this. The investigation of his records. He doesn't want it to be he doesn't want the political tasking or either one of them to be involved in that. So he said no. In fact, he's giving us the whole game here. Let's just listen so that you can understand where I'm coming from.